suspects are being one case involves. The FBI is now offering $100,000 to see if the police are releasing marathon.
Welcome to Misty Mysteries. I'm your host Keely, and this is a paranormal and true crime podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about the Don Cesar Hotel, also known as the Pink Palace. I heard the story of this hotel for the first time the other day on the Two Girls One Ghost podcast. I wanted to share it with you all because I feel like it has a very sweet ending for the spirits involved. Pink Palace was built in 1928 on 80 acres of beachfront property on St. Pete Beach in Florida. The property was owned by a man named Thomas Rowe. This hotel was massive, standing 6 stories over the beach with 110 rooms, and of course, the all-over pink color of the hotel that marks it the Pink Palace. A special fountain is featured in the front of the hotel that replicates a fountain in London that held a special place in the heart of Thomas Rowe. Before Thomas ever stepped foot on the property and made plans to build his hotel, he met a Spanish opera singer named Lucinda. While attending the opera she was the leading lady of, named Martina. At this time, Thomas was attending school in England, and the two quickly fell in love. Thomas called Lucinda Martina, while she called him Don Cesar, after the characters in the opera that she was a star of. Thomas and Lucinda found a secluded fountain that they would secretly meet at for romantic evenings. The two fell madly in love and vowed to get married and live in a big pink castle on the beach together. Their plans were to meet at the secret fountain after her last performance of the opera and run away together, but Thomas waited for Lucinda and she never came. Lucinda's parents didn't approve of her relationship with Thomas and especially didn't approve of a marriage, so when her last performance ended, they waited backstage to whisk her away to Spain, away from where Thomas could find her. Heartbroken over Lucinda, Thomas finished his studies in London and moved to America where he met his wife. But he never forgot about Lucinda. Thomas continued to write her letters that she would never receive and built that pink castle they talked about on his 80 acres in Florida, even featuring their secret fountain, believing she could one day meet him at the fountain again. Thomas never heard from Lucinda again, but heard from her parents after she passed away, and they told Thomas that she spoke about him on her deathbed, saying, "Time is infinite. I wait for you by our fountain to share timeless love. Our destiny is time." Thomas's ownership of the hotel was rough, experiencing events such as the Great Depression and the Prohibition, but he loved the hotel and would walk on the beach every night thinking about Lucinda and hoping to see her before hearing about her death. Towards the end of the 30s, Thomas's health began to take a bad turn, and on May 5th, 1940, he passed away. On his deathbed, he attempted to will the hotel to some of his employees since he wanted it to fall into the hands of the people he trusted most. But the doctor at this point didn't think he was stable enough to change his will, and the Don Cesar was given to his estranged wife. His wife ended up selling the hotel to the U.S. Army just 2 years after his death in 1942. It was used as a hospital and recovery center for airmen returning from battle during World War II. When the war ended in 1945, it turned into a VA headquarters and sadly fell into disrepair till the VA left the building in 1969. A committee was formed by a concerned citizen that were fighting to save the Don Cesar from being bulldozed. All of their efforts to save the hotel paid off, and in 1972, the Don Cesar was bought by a man named William Bowman. Bowman put $3.5 million into the hotel to restore it to its former glory, and just a year later, in 1973, opened the Don Cesar as a full-service resort. In 1974, it was added to the National Registry of Historical Places, and from that point on, it was used by the movie and entertainment industry for movies like Once Upon a Time in America, Southern Accents, and Forever Mine. Hulk Hogan filmed an episode of his TV show Thunder in Paradise at the hotel, and the hotel was the first to join the National Trust Historical Hotels of America. The Don Cesar has added an additional 30,000 square feet, including a restaurant called the Martina Grill. Remodeling has been done throughout Don Cesar, and in 2018, it celebrated its 90th anniversary. In the 94 years that the Don Cesar has been standing, it has been filled with the life of many people from all over the world. including good and bad, as a hotel and a hospital. Some people think that this would create a perfect space for spirits to spend their days in the other plane, but it seems the only spirits this hotel has is Thomas and possibly the love of his life, Lucinda. Lucinda and Thomas are seen standing near the fountain outside the hotel and walking along the beach together. One man staying at the Don Cesar saw the two on the beach the summer after losing his wife. This man and his wife spent their honeymoon at the hotel after it was reopened in the 1970s, and they returned there every summer for vacation. The summer of his experience was the first visit to the hotel without his wife. This was a very emotional trip for him, but he knew his wife would want him to go, and he wanted to keep their tradition alive in memory of her. When he got to the hotel, he got dressed for the beach and headed down to the shoreline, where he was surrounded by a bunch of young adults partying. He decided to walk the shoreline when he noticed an older couple in front of him. The couple was walking half in the sand and half in the water. The man wore a white hat and a white suit with his pants rolled up. The woman wore a pink dress, and the couple seemed very important and graceful. He felt like their feet didn't even touch the sand they were walking on, and when he took a second glance at the couple, their feet really weren't touching the sand. The man quietly gasped to himself and just watched as the couple floated down the beach in their little loving moment. The man looked around to see if anyone else could see the couple, but he had followed them to an empty section of the beach. When he looked back to where the couple was, they had disappeared. This experience sent chills down his spine, but it was one he didn't forget. He would tell everyone he could about it, even telling his children that one day that would be him and their mother. It was just such a sweet story. Thomas doesn't just haunt the beach with his love Lucinda, but he still is in the hotel making sure that things are taken care of and the guests are happy during their stay. During times of renovation, construction workers saw a white-haired man in a white suit with very similar features to Thomas, asking them, "What are you doing? What are you working on?" These may have been some of the first encounters with Thomas, but they definitely were not the last. After renovations finished and the hotel reopened, staff members who worked for Thomas returned to the hotel to work, and they would smell him throughout the hotel, mostly in rooms and the hallways. When he was sick, his doctor prescribed him these medical cigarettes for his asthma that had a very distinct medicinal smell, and this is what the staff was smelling, and they knew right away it was Thomas. Thomas is seen by the staff in the kitchen, and in particular the freezer. Staff will open the walk-in and they will see Thomas disappear in front of them. Although this is terrifying for the staff, Thomas will also protect them from unhappy guests. The Don Cesar is a very popular wedding location, and he will make shelves that hold flowers, special wedding items, or decor fall over when wedding parties get especially rude and demanding towards his staff. Doors will open for his staff while their hands are full of guest bags and trays of food. The elevator doors will open for them before even pressing any buttons, especially when their hands are full. Guests will also see Thomas greeting them as they walk into the hotel, but he disappears as they go to approach him. Thomas is also seen on the 5th floor. He lived on the 5th floor and decided that is where he wanted to stay after life as well. He is seen on the 5th floor, rooms and halls, making noises such as knocking, and people will see him standing at the edge of their bed. Guests have also shared experiences of seeing men dressed from after Thomas and Lucinda's time. They feel the airy feelings mostly around them, and they hear weird noises. Many believe these to be the patients from when the hotel was the hospital. But what do you think about the hotel? Have you ever stayed there or experienced anything yourself? Let me know if you have on Misty Mystery social media, such as Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I want to thank you for listening to Misty Mysteries today. Let me know how I am doing by messaging me on social media, leaving reviews on places such as Good Pods and Apple Podcasts. And also, if you like the podcast, please share it with whoever you think may like it as well. For now, I want to wish you a happy week, stay safe, stay hydrated, and I will see you next week.